All right, so let's talk about a couple of different types of contracts. Very important when you are considering building a home. Essentially, there are two broad categories. One is going to be a fixed price contract, and the other one is going to be cost plus. Choice Builders, we use the cost plus, or as we like to call it, an open book contract. And I'll go into the details of that second, but let me go into fixed price first and explain to you sort of what the nature of fixed price is and what best uses for that is. So a fixed price contract is going to be a lump sum contract. You're going to see a scope of work and you're going to see one final number for your house. And you're not going to know the breakdown of all the different components and pieces. Oftentimes, builders will give you an allowance associated with your fixed price contract. So they may say, here is your house. I'm going to make up numbers just off the top of my head. $600,000, $700,000 for your house. And you have an allowance of $20,000 for flooring. And the expectation is you're going to go shopping for your floor to find something in budget that meets your needs that is not going to exceed $20,000. That's sort of the nature of a fixed price. And what a fixed price contract gives you is predictability. If there are cost overruns, the contractor is going to absorb those cost overruns. And you may be thinking, well, great, absolutely, that's what I want. But I want you to know all fixed price contracts have contingencies in them. All fixed price contracts have contingencies in them. And so as the builder is building, if there is a cost overrun, normally there's a 2 to 3% contingency built into the budget that you don't get to see, that now the builder draws from to cover those cost overruns. But if there aren't any cost overruns, what do you think happens to that 2 to 3% contingency? It goes to the builder. So now the builder's making more money. And so you can see that the fixed price contract actually is incentivizing a builder to build less. The more money I can save as a builder, the more money I'm going to make. If I can put in a lower quality window, or maybe it's just a different brand window, but I didn't run it past you, it's just a different brand window, and I save money, that money comes to me as the builder. That's the reason why Choice Builders doesn't like fixed price contracts. We much prefer the open book contract, also known as cost plus. But in an open book contract, really what we do is we agree on what the builder's fee is going to be. And every cost that there is on the project is that cost plus our fee on top of that. And what the beautiful thing about that is, now we can have real discussions about the cost of every single component. Suppose budget is important to you. Wouldn't it be nice to know that this window is less expensive by several $100s than that window? If you knew that, maybe you would pick this window that'll save you money. It might not be as fancy or as energy efficient as this window, but perhaps if you had that cost information, it might be the right window for you. Or maybe when you're picking selections, and I was talking about floors a bit earlier, you may decide that you want to splurge on a certain type of floor in a certain area. Now, as a open book contractor, I'm able to give you that exact cost data so you can make the right decisions for you. Cost is so very important. Now, that same contingency that I was telling you exists in the fixed price contract also is in the open book contract, and it is very prudent to have a contingency. As a matter of fact, our contingencies are usually about 5% that we carry in our contract, but the difference is that's your money. You see that contingency. We'll show it to you at the very beginning of the budget. We'll tell you when it gets used, and any leftover contingency, that goes right back to you as the owner. That is just there to handle any unexpected costs. There might be some site conditions, or maybe there's some material cost increases during construction, but majority of the time, contingency gets handed back to you, and that's very important. Also, what's important about the open book contract is it aligns our interest. As I told you, on a fixed price contract, a builder is actually incentivized to build more cheaply or less expensive than what they originally quoted the project at. An example of that might be, suppose I don't quite know what the drywall is going to be, but I know it's going to be at least $11,000. So if I'm in a fixed price contract, I might go, well, I'm going to write down $12,000, but I think I can beat that by $1,000. That cost savings would go to the fixed price contractor. Us as an open book contractor, that savings goes to you. I am incentivized to build the house that you want. There is no incentive for me to find a less expensive way to build the house unless you direct me to. Because you're going to see the budget. And also, what I love about open book, the way that we do open book is it's fully transparent. We have a program we call well, we don't call it Builder Trend, it's called Builder Trend. And you can log into that program 24/7 and see your budget. That's really cool. You see a live picture of the budget and understand everything about it. You see the money that we're making, you see the bills that we're paying, the checks that we're writing, you see the materials that we're purchasing, everything that's going into your house. You have complete and absolute control over that. And if there are any questions, ask them. And we'll be happy to answer their questions, because that's the nature of open book. We are aligned in our interest to build the best house for you at the budget that you want. Imagine that you want to have a special feature in your house. A fixed price contractor might give you a lump sum, or would give you a lump sum number, and that change order, you don't really know what's in that change order. And what you get might be slightly different than what you wanted, but that price is going to remain the same. Whereas an open book contractor, same scenario, you're going to get a breakdown of all the components, all the component costs, and you're going to know that what you got is exactly what you paid for. I think that's a big peace of mind when you're building. In an open book contract with a contractor who is used to transparency, you know that you got everything that you paid for. I think it's important too that you hire a builder who is trustworthy, because this is going to be an alignment. You have to pick a builder who has the same core values that you do, and hopefully trustworthiness is a big part of that, because to do this effectively, you have to trust each other. You have to trust that we're both working together to manage the budget, to manage the schedule, and to manage the overall turnout of the project, so that we're delivering your vision of your perfect home. Thank you.